Hi, team. Welcome to the Escape podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Coming up, we take a look at my new party train and we take it out for a spin. But first, some game and community news. Our broadcast astromech today is EPC 210, who is 4 years older as of this week or last week than the first astromech we shot out of an airlock.
That's right.
Alongside, as always, is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going now that we've passed 4 years of doing this podcast?
Hey, Max, how's our supply of astromechs holding up? I mean, are we starting to run out?
No, I've got that. I got a subscription with Zerka Labs, and they just keep them coming. I buy them by the gross.
Subscribe and save. Yes. So, yeah, things are going great. Let's see. I wanted to mention I've been reading a book called, it's a series called King's Dark Tidings. So the first book is called Free the Darkness. It's by Kel Cade. It's a fantasy book, fantasy novel, and the premise of it is the protagonist is this 19-year-old fellow who he's been raised in this sort of, you don't know what, it's like a fort or a military or a elite forces type place, and he's been raised his whole life with no parents, just these.
Reskin?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I read the first two.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
I like the beginning because this character has been raised with all these rules and he follows the rules, but
Yeah.
when he gets out into the real world, when people behave the way people behave, he interprets them with respect to the rules, and then they interpret what he does with their own knowledge of human nature, and it's sort of like Big Bang Theory, but in Fantasyland. Oh, it's not comic, but he's kind of a sheldon character, but he's like a fantastic swordsman and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
He can, kill 5 guys with one dagger. He's like Superman that way. So I'm about halfway into it, and it's a pretty engaging story. But yeah, so I've been doing a lot of driving lately, so that's why I'm listening. But yeah, so I really don't read fantasy that much anymore, so I'm happy to find one that's entertaining. So what did you think of it then?
Yeah. So, well, you finish out what you've been doing, and then I'll circle back on
Okay.
it. But
Yeah, so like we also did like on Mandatory Fun Night this week. This is Araco week, so we went and killed the Eyeless, and we did them on 16 man, and we had 16 people, I think, or at least 15, so that's always helpful. And then we went upstairs and did the world boss a few times, which gives a crap ton of. It's on Corellia this time, so we went up to the surface and did the world boss, and you get one of those super rare CXP packs for them, so that's a good thing.
yeah, they're very lucrative to do
Yeah.
those in terms of CXP.
And they spawn. It seems like it's like 15 or 20 minutes, so it's not that bad. We went to a few different instances, and I think we got him a second time on the first instance that we went to. But yeah, it's totally worth it. And let's see, tonight in our own ops team, Lords of Light or LOL, we did Toth and his aunties like we always do, and then we went and did veteran mode Eyeless, and we tried this strat which is new to me, which is called the ping pong strat, which I really liked. But basically, a tank stands on either end of the room, and they taunt him back and forth, so he's always moving, and it really minimizes the circles he puts down and the ads he calls out, so the raid can sort of not to move too much and just concentrate on killing him. Of course, unless you're melee, then you're running back and forth too, but that's the risk I'm willing to take.
Poor melee.
And then we decided we'd go and try veteran mode Tithe. And then that was just a comedy of errors, just even getting there. Started with me. I forget what I think we wiped on the trash, and then I ran back and ran too far and aggroed the trash again. So then we were like sort of running back, but some were staying, and
We
then
were like all over, and all the trash was all over, and everything was like all over
Like
everywhere inside there.
like some people ran back to the entrance and they had some of the trash, and some people ran forward and they were already in the room with Tithe, and it was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. But anyways, so that's a few things from my week. How about you, Max?
So I took advantage of that, all the bonuses we had in
Yes.
CXP. I got my Vanguard to 300, rank 300, which was nice
Nice.
because now I can at least have a tank set and a tank gear that I can be gathering at 246 for my Vanguard
Hmm?
and use that on my Power Tech as well. And then I did that, I think by Saturday, and then had a little bit of extra time, or maybe even by Friday, and then had a little bit of extra time on Sunday, and logged in a few characters that I still had at like level 65 or level 60, and put a bunch of levels on them because I said, well,
Nice.
might as well take advantage of the last couple minutes of this double XP as well, and I put a bunch of levels on my. I think I put like 5 or 6 levels on my gunslinger, who was one of the crafters. So finally opened up that he can send 8 people out at a time, and
Nice.
I at least 2 or 3 other characters I put a bunch of levels on. So that was
Now,
fun too.
what did you do to get the XP? What activity?
I kept doing the daily areas. So,
Yeah.
and in
Yeah.
order on all of them, I did CZ-198 first, but highest priority, and Oricon second highest priority. I think Zen, one of our guildies, maybe I don't, I didn't double check, but it seemed pretty accurate. He tested it himself and figured out that those in that order, that those were the most command XP and most experience per minute of of time spent. So I did both of those. I liked them, and then I did some Section X and I did some Black Hole. And that was pretty much it on any of them. I didn't bother to do much else.
I think I've heard that they made the heroic on Section X so it's soloable now. So you
It
can do the whole
is
thing.
because I did solo it, and in fact, you can, if you're tricky, you can run through the whole thing and not kill anything at all, and just throw the grenade at the very end if you're fast enough and strong enough and shielded or self healing enough,
Oh,
and 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 just do it, which
you
which
don't
I
have to
did.
kill that guy in the last room, or is that like a
I
bonus?
think not. I think you don't have to. I ended up killing him because I got to the end and I forgot how to click. I forgot
Yeah.
where you're supposed to click, and I'm like looking in my inventory, and then then I was down to like 20%. So because then I aggroed him and he's shooting me. So then I just ended up kiting him around and kiting him around pillars and killing him, and then I figured out how to kill the core, which is you click way in the middle on the ball that's in the middle of
Right.
the middle core.
Right.
Because I thought you had to like, I remember doing it the 4-person way, which is 2 people have 1 person has a channel on each side to drop the shield in the middle so somebody can throw the grenade.
Right.
Yeah, so chat room Stavis confirms you do not have to kill him to complete the quest. So there you go.
Oh, good.
So that was fun. Eyeless was certainly fun. All of the eyelesses, all of the eyes, no, the lack of eyes in all the places. Those world bosses were fun. And, I had fun on Mandatory Fun Night. So we had 16 people. We did the outside bosses a couple times. We switched maps. We killed the eyeless. We only had about 45 minutes left, and we said, okay, we're 16 people. Some people, and 2 people had never done it before. We said, we're down to like 40 minutes. Let's just see if we can get through Eternity Vault. And we
Oh, that's right. We
screamed
did
through
do.
there. And it
We
was just
did.
Eternity Vault with 16 people, but 2 people hadn't even ever been there before, which is strange. I mean, how people that have never been to Eternity Vault, which was great, because
Yeah.
that's really it's one of the top operations because they spent so much time because it was the very first one. So I love the voiceovers, the fights are interesting, the council fight is interesting, the puzzle. So that was great to introduce a couple people to it, and we screamed through so fast and got it done. It was quite fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to make a mistake on that council fight and have to take a wipe, but we did not do that.
We did
So
not.
yeah.
We did, I did not.
Nobody
I did
Well,
not
one
hit it.
person fell off the. I think one person fell, but yeah,
Yeah,
on the solo fight phone.
Kobu fell off. One of our healers fell off the platforms because he was trying to be tricky and use his operative shadow step,
The
whatever
Yeah, the
trick,
holo traverse.
to get to the to the
Oh, right.
pylons on the platforms. But then somebody killed the pylon before he got there, so he like went flying off or something. No, he ended up jumping off, and then he was like clicking to to leap to it and do his little leap, and it wasn't there anymore, so he fell down. But that was funny, and we had an extra healer at that point. So did we? Is that the part where I was saying healers were expendable? After which I got no heals for the rest of the night. I
But you
don't know.
never get any heals.
I know. So that was fun, and that's what I've been doing. And just to circle back, I finished the Bobaverse trilogy.
Oh
I
yeah, I have that book waiting for me.
I finished After On, which is a very good modern day book about AI and the singularity, but hits on like every current technology that's hot in the news. So that's a good novel. And yes, I read the first two books of King's Dark Tiding. I don't know if the third book is out yet, but I read the first two really quickly. Light, it is relatively lightweight. I described Rezkin as sort of a Mary Sue because he's like super powerful and everybody loves him for the most part. But he like, as you said, he throws the one dagger and kills five
Goes through
guys
five
and
guys.
because it bounces around the room perfectly and. But I went through them really quickly because it was just really easy and fun to consume.
Yeah, it is for the title. Anything called Dark Tidings, it's not very dark.
Right, right. But yeah, so that was fun, and that's what I've been doing. And now we can catch up on a tiny bit of news.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
So in the news, first up, yes, there's a post there you can read up where they say, sorry for all the maintenance. It was kind of crazy, and they had to do the extra maintenance on Thursday, which I got confused on because I tried to log in the morning, and I don't know what I was doing. Oh, I've been putting a couple things on the auction house, clearing out some old stuff in my inventory. Anyway, they said, yeah, sorry about that. As a result, we'll try to pull in our bonus CXP event, which we were going to have in December. We're going to try to pull that up sooner, so you'll get an extra week of that. We're going to keep the daily area bonuses around for a little bit longer because they would have needed a patch to update anyway, and we decided we didn't want to take down the servers anymore or mess around with that too much longer. So you'll get those. You're not getting the double in the daily areas because the double part is done, but you're still getting a quite a high amount. So instead of 2,400,
Right.
you're getting 1,200. So those daily areas still are quite a bit of CXP. They're still quite lucrative as far as that goes. And then they did make a point, and I know you have a comment on this too, Seema, but they did make a point of saying, and the exploit, and we'll show you what it looks like tonight. We're not going to do it because we're both unlocked, but we're not exploiting. Don't ban me. But they said the exploit is still in the game for being able to get the stronghold without having put in the work. Don't do it. Okay, don't exploit.
Right.
And
And
you had a good
and my
comment on
comment,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
my comment about that was that I appreciated the post, and I also appreciate the the sort of what I see as the attitude behind it, which is saying they're saying to us, here's the issue. We're not going to fix it yet for these reasons, but it is an exploit, so don't do it. To me, that's how it always should be handled. So that they're treating us like an audience of adults instead of an audience of children where you have to go, well, don't tell them how this is because, if we tell them this, then they'll do this, and if we tell them that, then they'll do that. They're just saying, here's how it is, you know, don't exploit. So
Yeah,
I appreciated that.
exactly. So, exactly. Appreciated it. Thank you for telling us. And I think that's a good opportunity for the SWTOR community to show their mettle. So there you go. What else is in the news?
There is an interesting um, thing going around where for some people their utilities are getting reset when they log in. So via hearsay and talking to people, it seems like it's mostly like snipers, sniper gunslingers, Merc Commando, anyway, non-force using ranged classes. I've heard some people say that if you're a Merc and you have trauma regulators on when you log out, that's when one person said that their utilities are getting reset, but another person said no, they're getting reset all the time anyway, whether or not they have trauma regulators on. So
And
it's a
other
known
people
bug.
are not getting it reset ever.
Yeah.
So
I think
it's very inconsistent. Yeah.
it seems like it's DPS for sure. I mean, I haven't heard of any healer mercs. Like that hasn't happened to me.
Yeah. It hasn't happened to me,
But yeah,
but it is happening to quite a few people.
strange. So anyway, yeah, PSA, check your utilities before you go in that war zone.
Yes. Yeah. Before you queue up for a war zone and get in there and realize you have no defensive utilities locked in. Also in the news, the one other thing we noticed is that, and Eric did post a post that said, hey, I'm at least going to get you a maintenance schedule for the month that will be up soon. And what I noticed as part of that, which was then sort of conspicuously absent, is discussion of the quote-unquote roadmap. Again, it's sort of slow to get that roadmap out there. I know it's a difficult thing, and they have to go through a lot of hoops to be able to go public with something like a roadmap, but they haven't even said, I mean, now they're talking about 5.5. They haven't said at all what that is or when it even might be coming. We expect that it's going to have another of the bosses from IOCATH, but they haven't said that. So we got to get that. We got to get that soon. So Keith, I know you're listening. You're probably right there in the chat room. I know you're not.
He's probably even taking notes, I'm sure.
He's writing it down. Max says to do the roadmap. If you need anything, bud, we're here to help. So if you need us to help with that roadmap, I will just say all the things.
Right, do all the things.
Out. In guild and community news, the influencer community, so a bunch of the influencers and streamers, mostly the streaming crew. I think it was about 7 people streaming and a few more that were just even chimed in as part of the group, got together on Wednesday night of this week, so that would have been the 6th, and streamed together and posted a bunch of links for hurricane support. So quite a few charities that people could donate to, and trying to get the word out there that we should be helping out, because there's not just one, but now it looks like another one that's about to hit the southeast coast and hit Florida. Plenty of people that still are not in great shape down there in Houston. And so we certainly shout out to them. Everyone in Florida, be safe, because we know that there's another hurricane headed that way, because this is the season. So hopefully that won't go as badly for Florida as Houston got hit, but it's never fun.
Sure hope not.
And if you do want to help out, there's lots of ways to do that. I recommend cash in a number of ways. That's often very effective for the communities that are down there to turn that into the right kind of supplies very quickly.
Right. And I think
what else?
Gamers in general are very generous about stuff like this. And I mean, there's been more than one in the SWTOR community, but then games in general, like I know Games Done Quick has done a lot of fundraising. I think every game, if you look around, you'll probably see Harvey Aid stuff in almost every game. So gamers rock.
Yeah, they do. And what about guild stuff? I think just the usual, right? We got MFN.
Yeah. What? Dang, I knew I forgot something. Let's see. I did put it in the, okay. Yes, next Tuesday night, September 12th, we will be on the imp side for MFN.
Wonder if anything's going to be in town. I wonder if the GRI are going to be in town. I like when they show up. So that will be fun. And if you would like to come join our MFN, you actually don't even need to be in the guild to join, but we do fill up. We had too many people this past night, so we always have volunteers that are cool about it and sit outs. Especially new people can come in there and run. But if you really want to join in the fun, you come and join our guild, and you can find our guild information at aie-guild.org. That's kind of the reason we do this podcast, so we'd love to have you in the guild. You can find us in-game on Jedi Covenant, on both the Republic and the Imperial sides. And when we're logged in, all the officers are listening on a channel called AIE-LFO, looking for officer. So if you do a /cjoin AIE-LFO, you can try to track us down that way, or come find AIE SEMA on Twitter, or Max the Gray on Twitter, or check in on our guild site and find us on Discord. We're on Discord all the time, even if we're not in game, because AIE is a pretty big guild, and sometimes we play other games too. So come check us out, come join, and I also want to say thank you to the chat room. I always get a lot of value, and I hope I'm giving value back to our chat room there, because they answer questions and keep us straight, and do that pretty regularly. So I will catch up with you guys after. And with that, I think we can talk about one of the newest additions to the game, the Stronghold.
Wield your prosperity as a weapon.
Oh, is that all I that wasn't the long version? Yada yada, Stronghold, yada yada, wield your prosperity as a weapon. Yes, so that means use your credits, or in this case, not even very many credits, to get the new Stronghold. So why don't we kick it off, Seema, by talking about how you get and unlock this Stronghold. And in fact, I'm going to go there to Odessa and walk up into the quarters.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is basically a new mechanism, but when they introduced the new flashpoint that we talked about last week, which is Crisis on Umbara, one of the things you get from that is the currency that you get for each. It drops from the bosses, so if you kill a boss, you get the currency.
Yep.
Then
Alliance
you use the
Recon
currency.
data.
Right. Then you use the Alliance Recon data to buy an access key, and you need 60 of them to do that. You buy this access key, which allows you to go up in an elevator and go into a little tiny traders area and it has the same kind of machine that you see on the fleet for buying the various different strongholds there, and then you can buy this stronghold from that.
Yeah.
And I think it was 5K credits.
Yeah, so really just a nominal fee. And they explained, as they explained what they were doing with this flashpoint, that they wanted to provide a flashpoint that was a little bit different and a little bit different way to unlock it, rather than saying you have to pay 2 million credits or whatever, or 1,200 cartel coins to unlock it. It's pretty much free, except you got to run the flashpoint, the Crisis on Umbara flashpoint, quite a few times. So if you're doing solo,
yeah.
it's like 10 times.
Right. And I think, it's kind of cool because, then you're familiar with the stronghold because you've been running the flashpoint. And it makes me think, too, it'd be kind of cool to have a flashpoint that was in the Yavin 4 stronghold.
Wait, say that again? It'd be cool to have a flashpoint?
Yeah, that was in the Yavin 4 stronghold.
Well, there is.
Oops.
Yeah, there you go. How about Manon? How about if, those Manon flashpoints we run? What if there was a flashpoint that looked like those? Oh, wait,
my God.
So yeah, you do the first half of the flashpoint basically is fighting on the train, and that's the same train from the short story that they talked about. And it's cool. Yeah, so you see it in there. It's part of the story, so it makes sense then that you can do it. I'm here in these trading quarters. This is also a good point to reiterate what the exploit is and make sure you don't do it. The trick to getting this is you need to buy the access to get up into these trading quarters with that Alliance Recon data from the vendor downstairs. Then you come up here and you can get into these trading quarters. The current exploit is that now that I'm here in the trading quarters, if I had a group of 16 people here, I could say summon via group guild flagship, and everyone then could end up in this room without having unlocked it with Alliance Recon data. That's the exploit. Don't do that. Unless you've paid your 60 Alliance Recon data for access to these quarters, you should not be in here. So don't do it. They've made it very clear. They put the news out there. They said, this is an exploit. Please don't do it. And we should all be adults about it and not do it. Because it's easy enough just to run the flashpoint a few times and get it done.
Plus, it's playing the game, which is what we're all here for.
Right. If you do the flashpoint on master mode, which is difficult, but if you do it on master mode, you'll get 25 Alliance Recon data each time you run it. And if you do it on veteran mode, you'll get 12. And if you do it solo, you're getting 6. So you need 60 total. I ended up just doing it 10 times on solo. I actually did it 11 because the first time I ran it, I missed the alpha Slybex or whatever. So I did it 11 times.
I missed it all the first time. But I don't think I did it 11 times. I think I went in one and killed the first boss one more time or something like that.
Oh, I think I ended up just finishing it because... No, I might have done the same thing.
Oh, no. I know what I did. I ended up going in to kill the first boss because I needed one more currency to buy a biochem schematic. That's what it was.
Right. See, I'm gonna end up doing the flashpoint more because there is more that I could use Alliance. So I'm down to 0. So I did just go in until I got 60, and then I bought it. But there's more off of this vendor for the Alliance Recon data currency, like the mount, the Indigo Mantor mount, which I wouldn't mind having, and there's an armor set that you can also get. And then, yes, if you're a biochem, then you can get those biochem schematics, which are pretty interesting.
I wasn't, but I am now.
Right. So let's move over and visit the stronghold. So as you unlock the stronghold, you're only paying 5K to unlock it. And then there's 2 more doors, and it's just the train front to back, and the train is moving. You can't jump off the train, and it never gets to its destination. But when you zone in the first time, you will get a cutscene, of course. Press spacebar to continue. It shows sort of the same cutscene as when you start the flashpoint. It's sort of that panning around the outside of the train. Here, I'll just let the cutscene play to start. But you also see it.
It started the cutscene for me too, and it started it for you.
Do you see my decorations in your cutscene?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, actually, I escaped out of it, but yeah.
So it does sort of pan down the train, and you see your decorations, which is sort of interesting. So it's rendered within the game engine, which now that I think about
like
it,
that
is
aspect
sort
of
of
it.
interesting.
Actually, now I don't know. Run the cutscene again when you get out.
I think you can. Oh, you saw it when I zoned in?
Yeah.
That's weird. Well, here, let me escape out of it, and then I'll exit and come back. Let me go back to Odessen. I wonder why it would play for you even when I go in. And then you end up at basically the back end of the train is sort of where you start. There are 3 sections to the train. So only the first section, which is almost half the train, or it's the first third of the train, is unlocked, and that's for the 5,000 credits. You do have to pay a significant amount to unlock the rest of the train, which is $1 million to unlock the middle part and 1.2 million to unlock the front and the operator's cabin, the cockpit. So total of 2.2 million in credits to unlock the rest of it, or 1,200 and 1,200, so a total of 2,400 cartel coins if you want to do it that way. There, and now I'm clicking into the cutscene again. Did you get it again?
Yep.
So do you see Tithe standing up on the rocket by the front of the train, and Tithe standing in the middle?
Yep, there's the rocket.
And Esne
Yep, and
standing
there's
by the back.
Esne. Yep, I am seeing your decorations. And I see you sauntering along.
Sauntering along, strutting.
Surveying your domain.
Surveying my... I am master of my domain.
Oh.
So let's take a look. So it's a series of cars. If you look at the map, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 8.
Wait, you're not counting your
One,
chairs, are you?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I'm not. 9, 10, 11, 12.
8,
12. It's 12
7,
cars, actually.
11.
I have about 300 chairs, I think.
But it's a passenger train.
So I decorated a few of the middle cars that I wanted. So I will show that. So that would be cool. But again, we talked about this a little bit last week. You can only have 6 strongholds unlocked. So if there are a total of 7. So if you had 6 before you got this, you're going to have to deactivate a stronghold. And the conquest bonus is still 150%, which means if you want the total of 150%, you do need to decorate and you unlock the train, you do need to decorate the train to 100%. So here, my hooks, my decoration percentage is 425 out of 425, which means I had to throw 425 decorations in this train. So I decorated 3 cars, and then I threw a train of chairs. Here we go. House of Chairs. Did you see that on Twitter? Somebody made a House of Chairs meme for us, which I appreciated.
I did see that.
So pro tip, you can now buy these chairs really cheaply from the SWTOR vendor or the vendor on the fleet, and you can have 999 of them. And these class signs, see, I have the Trooper one up here, 30 of those, and 30 of the Bounty Hunter one on the left. As you level that character to 50, I think, it unlocks that in your Legacy Achievements tab. So if you go under Achievements and you go under, I think it's Achievements, General, Classes, or maybe it's Achievements, Events, General. No, not Events. Achievements, Legacy Advancement. I forgot where it is. So somewhere in here, in a weird place. No, I think it's a weird place. Like, yeah, it's Achievements General, Achievements Location General, Chapter 3. Then you'll see each of the classes. So as you complete Chapter 3 with the classes, click into that class, and down here under Rewards, you will see the decoration. Each time you click that decoration in this reward box on your Legacy Achievement panel, you will get one more of those decorations up to 999. So go in there and click. You can get 999. And if you've done all 8 classes, all through Chapter 3, now you have basically 8,000 of just those class decorations. You could fill up any stronghold. So first 2 cars, I just did chairs, and class sign. I threw some posters in the second car, and that was just to finish off to get me to 100% after I decorated the things that I wanted. Have you started decorating your stronghold yet, Seema?
I made my little landing area because, unlike you, I like the inside part. And so I put in my little landing area, I started with my Legacy Cargo and my regular cargo and a GTN wall mount and Felucia, and she's having a conversation with somebody in a corner. But I like it the way it's laid out and the way the hooks are. I can put all the banks and my mailbox and Felucia all like within arm's length of each other, but it's also roomy enough that I don't feel like crowded. So
interesting. So yeah. I did the same, but I like the outside part of the train, so I did mine way down the train, which is a little bit unfortunate because then I have to run through the train, and I have to run through my party car, and every time I run through my party car, I have to stop and dance. So it takes a long time for me to get to the banks on my train. I may move it up to the front like you did, or just buy more of those the bank and vendor and GTN decos and put it in the front too. So we'll tour mine and maybe we'll see the front of yours, how you set that up. But a quick comment from the chat room back on that clicking 999 times. So B. Kavanaugh and Lord Roosh in the chat room confirmed apparently if you complete Chapter 3 nowadays, it auto grants you 999 of those decorations, so you don't have to sit there and click, 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 click like
Oh,
I
good.
did, which is nice. So that was nice of them. So a couple things to notice also when you're looking at where your hooks are in here is there's hooks in the car, as I said. You might have to. So here's another pro tip for decorating. If it's a large panel and you want to put like here, it's just one large purple panel. Right click on the panel, go to layouts and select the small blocks, and you'll get much more of those small blocks if you're hanging up a bunch of posters, for example. So I did split a bunch of my panels to the small green blocks to put all the chairs out and put the posters out. But you have some floor hooks, you have a bunch of wall hooks, you have a few ceiling hooks in these cars where you can hang some lights. But another place you're going to want to look when you go into the trains is up top. So as you go outside here, there's some ramps where you can climb up. In another area of the car, there's a grappling hook where you can get up on top. But there's hooks up on top of the train too. So I think there's 4 centerpieces all along the length of the train where you can be placing decorations. And this is where I have I don't know if this is Esne or a Vela. Which is this one? One of the 2 aunts, one of the 2 sisters. This is one of them I got tonight. And then by the front of the train, I have Tithe up there on one of my centerpiece hooks. I'll show you when I get up there. And I have the rocket launcher, who we determined was from Ravagers, up by the front of the train, which is a cool one too. I'll come back to it, but if you notice here, as I got through into the 4th car, the first outdoor part, there's a speeder that's clickable and usable. You click this speeder and this will take you up near the front of the train. So it's a little shortcut to get to the front of the train. But I like these outdoor areas because now you can see the scenery going by. It's the train is running at full speed the whole time. You can watch a good amount of scenery. I haven't stared out at the scenery very much to see if I could see any creatures out there. Have you?
No.
I haven't seen anything very interesting. It's the cool scenery. It's the cool Umbara scenery. Oh, speaking of creatures out there, though, I have this creature, which I can show off, which is out of one of the current cartel packs, is the Banshee Companion, which is one of the Umbara creatures, which I now have,
cool.
which I bought off the GTN for like 4 million. I did not open crates to get it. But that is one of the Umbara creatures, so I thought that was fitting. So further down in the train here, a couple other big sort of centerpiece hooks, and here I have Garge and Grobthok facing off against each other in this little arena car here. So that's as far away as I could get them from each other, and they do sort of take up a lot of space in this car. So you have to sort of run in between their legs to get down to the next car. And the next car is my favorite car, which is the party car. So this is where I've got
the party car.
Oh, Alexa, be quiet. This is where I've got a couple of the newest decorations that came from the Nar Shaddaa Nightlife event, which is this bar, which is clickable, and you sit there and you drink a drink every time you click on the bar. I've got 2 of the, see how there I am drinking a little chilled Corellian cocktail. I've got 2 of the dance floors, and when you click on the dance floor again, these are clickable, and you do a random dance of all of the dances unlocked in the game, and I don't mean unlocked, all of the dances in the game, whether or not you have them unlocked. So if you've never seen your character do some of these dances, you can just keep clicking and keep clicking. And yes, chat room, look upon Garge and die. Garge, whose claws scored the canals of Salok. Garge, who consumed the residents of Shalot and was worshipped for it. I forgot which town it was, but he ate a bunch of people and was worshipped for it. Look upon Garge and die. Yeah, that's that's why Eternity Vault is awesome, because of those kind of voiceovers.
But we didn't die, and we did look upon him, and he died, not us.
Yes, he did. There's Seema dancing over there on the dance floor. This is the clickable microphone. puts the little glitter ball, disco ball above you while you're singing and getting that. You got some smooth moves while you're jamming. And I put a jukebox in here. I think this is, I had 2 jukeboxes unlocked. I think this is Galactic Mysteries or something like that. I have 2 of the, which event did this come from? The Contraband Cartel slot machine. So this was some event where they put this slot machine in. And at the time, it was way overpowered and gave you much too much of like the Jawa junk. So people were getting rich off of it. So they stopped that. It's still, you were able to get them as decorations though, and they work. You can buy the cartel chips from the Fallujah Stato vendor that you can place in your stronghold. And if you have these, then you can click on the slot machine and play it, and you have a chance to win the Contraband Resale Corporation reputation tokens, or I think you can still get Jawa junk, but it's really rare, and I think there's a super rare chance to get the one of the walker mounts that was from this event also. So I have a bunch
super
of
rare
fun decorations in here. I have a couple lights on the ceiling, although they're hard to see because it's got these grates up on top. But I like this little light up there. So that's my party car. Bunch of these are dud slot machines. Only 2 of the slot machines work. I've got my Reveler in here, my Life Day Reveler, who throws snowballs at you as you run by. That's why we both have snowflakes on us. Makes it fun. Just put out some random mounts. Random
he has
creature
quite a
mounts
range
here. Yeah,
because he
will
was
hit
throwing
you from far
snowballs
away.
at us. Yeah.
Some random creatures just guarding the path down to where I have my this is my utilities area. So this is where I have, although I took out my guild bank, but this is all 3 of the banks: the legacy bank, personal storage, and the guild bank. I just took my guild bank out because I put it back in Yavin temporarily. But here I can pretty much within arm's reach get to a vendor to sell junk, get to the GTN, get to my various storages, all 3 types of storage. Then I just had a couple random mounts sitting here in case I needed to escape quickly. So again, I like these outdoor areas, and this here by the front of the train is another area where you have a little bit of an interactive component to jump across this gap. There's a gap between the, if you remember from the flashpoint, you encountered this gap and you had to kill like a little mini boss right here. Then
Right.
you click on the grapple point and you teleport across to the top of the train up above. Oh, and this is where you can see back and where I've got Tithe standing up down there on the top above the train. This is where I've got the big missile from Ravagers. This is off Koratani. We'll drop this, what is it called? It is called the Storm Carrier Rocket, which drops off Koratani as a decoration. And then you drop back down into the car, and now I have more chairs. two more rooms of 2 more cars of chairs, another outdoor area, and then you'll get all the way up to the front and the cockpit of the train. So I didn't do much interesting decorating up here, but you do get into the cockpit. Oh yeah, and another part of one of my favorite parts of the train is the chair at the front of the train in the cockpit is clickable, and you actually sit on it.
Yes.
I think that's been complained about in the forums and on Reddit recently. Give us actual chairs that you can actually sit on. Well, here you get 1. There's 1 in the newest stronghold. Go ahead, take a seat, Seema. Didn't mean to hog the 1 usable chair in all of the
I like the
stronghold.
big windows in here too.
Yeah, I wish there was sort of one in the front so you could see that city down the way. But I guess
Right.
we could climb out and climb on top of the train and see it, and
So you can
hang
see
off
that
the front of the
city
train and
getting
say, "I'm king of the world."
No closer.
Or can we not? I guess we can't get up on that part. We can't get on the nose cone of the train up here. But this is the front of the car. Here is where the speeder drops you off to. So then if you take the speeder back and forth, You actually ride down the side of the train, which is a cool view of the landscape and the decorations that you've got out, which I like. So overall, I like this stronghold. It's sort of new and different. It's cool that it's moving. The hooks, I think, are sufficient. I don't think there's anything that crazy with the hooks. And it's got a nice little sound effect going on, although I found the sound effect to be a little monotonous. If I'm standing there, which sometimes I do, for 15 minutes, clicking through various things on the GTN, looking for people that have underpriced their goods that I can snipe.
So you can buy it and mail back to them, say, hey,
I
you
have
didn't
done that
charge enough
before.
for this.
Once or
Actually,
twice.
I have too. If it's clearly a mistake, like
they put an augment up for
400
12
instead of
credits or whatever,
400,000, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So what's your opinion on the Stronghold overall, Seema?
I like it. I mean, it's my favorite in quite a while. I like the little touches like the speeder and the grapple hook.
So
I
you
like
said
that
you are
can-
using this as your daily
I am,
Stronghold
yeah. For the main reason
of
is
record?
because my Narshada one, which was my main, it's got pushed off onto the second page. And I know some people have said if
yes.
you name them differently, so they'll come in alphabetical order, but they don't come in alphabetical order. So,
Right.
so this one is still on the first page. Yes, it plays the cinematic, but I'm hoping that that'll become optional at some point.
Yeah, well, that's what they've done over time. Then they'll take the cinematic away, usually by the next patch. Although the cinematic is still up on Manon, which I wish it wasn't. But anyway, so yeah, I think this is
Manon, I like the look of it, but I struggled to decorate because of the way the hooks were with Orient, because of how the hooks are. And I guess the decorations I was trying to put up too are square and rectangular versus sort of the round look of that place. But my square and rectangular things go great in this stronghold.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. It's because each of the cars is somewhat rectangular.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it too. Although, as I said, I'm still using Yavin quite a bit now, and I moved out of Manon because I'm tired of that Manon cinematic.
Yeah.
But I do keep coming back here too. I think I've got a couple of my characters that are just parked here. My biggest problem, which I should just rearrange, is I liked this outdoor area, so that's, it's way down here is where I set up the train. I think did I already say this, or was I saying this beforehand?
I don't know.
My biggest problem of getting to it is it's the long walk. I've got to
Right,
walk
it's
through
a
all
long-
these cars, and it includes the party car. And every time I walk through the party car, I have done this every
Get
single
distracted.
time. No, I because you have to. I
You
stop
have
and
to
dance.
If you see the rule is if you see a dance floor, you must dance.
Because this is one of the most spectacular decorations in the game, as these dance floors. Won't stop dancing. Here I am doing the Pee Wee Herman tequila dance. So yeah, I like it too. Anything else
Yes.
before we
Now,
wrap up?
now is the time on sprockets when we dance.
Now is the time on sprockets when we dance. Touch my monkey. Yes.
Of Mike Myers. That's another movie I have to see again. Is I Married an Axe Murderer.
So I Married an Axe Murderer. Harriet, sweet Harriet, hard-hearted harbinger of haggis. I know all of the poems from that song. He was a jazz beat poet in Seattle in that movie. No one probably knows what we're talking about except old-timers who watched old Mike Myers movies. So yes, it is awesome. It is a great, fun place. Go ahead and do that. Flashpoint. Get a bunch of people and do the veteran and master modes, and you only have to do it a couple times. I will come and help you. In fact, let's do this thing. Ask me for help. I'll be your Meeseeks, and I'll help. I'll help you get it done. All right, I think with that, our EPC 210 droid here is ready to head out. Thanks to all of you for joining us on newoverlords.com, on iTunes or YouTube even, or live here on Twitch. We will stream again next Thursday night on twitch.tv/newoverlords around 10:30 p.m. Central. We will probably next week be talking about the story, and we will spoil the heck out of it. So be prepared for that. Get it done this week so we can talk about it next week. Please follow us on Twitter at MaxTheGray and at AIESEMA. Come find us on Jedi Covenant and ask us for an AIE Guild invite because we would love to have you. And we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.